So recently, for no good reason, made a video entitled Jerry Rigged How Not to Brony 38. Now, I've covered some of the comments on the video, but I never covered the video itself. And it turns out, in the time between that video where I covered the comments and this video, the video got flagged down. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's Lily Pete doing it. When I'm looking at the screenshot, I'll even show a picture of it. This is what it looks like, for the record. You notice it says Elizabeth Orcher, aka Lizzie, making me think it's most likely that Lizzie flagged down the video, not Lily. Now, granted, it is possible Lily had some involvement with that decision Lizzie made. However, at that point, you're just speculating. Now, we're going to ignore that. I'm going to talk about whether or not I felt that was a good idea at the very end of the video, because I took some notes on the video. As you can see, I got a few full pages of notes. And I'm just going to read them off. It's like my videos on the presidential debates. I'm just going to read them off and give my commentary, okay? So first off, FNGR claims that Lily Pete defends god-awful people. You know, I hate people using that word, defends. Oh, you think that's a good person right there? You're defending them. Or no, it's not even that. It's, oh, you think that person there isn't completely just Satan? Then you're defending them. Or you're wrong. And the word defend has a negative context when people like FNGR use it. Like, it genuinely makes it feel like they're only using the word defend to shut people up. Oh, you can't criticize me. It doesn't matter if what I'm saying is blatantly wrong, because then you're defending these horrible people. Now, let's go on. FNGR claims Lily wanted people to forget about the video Anthony C. made. This is a straight-up lie if you actually watch Discord Princess. Lily Pete mentions Anthony C.'s video twice in the video, and one of which is played in the How Not to Brony episode. So that was a flat-out lie on For No Good Reason's part. Here's one. Because at this point he starts going through, oh, look at all the people I hang out with. Aren't I cool? Now, he goes through all the people he's had podcasts with, basically. He says, look at my friends, guys. And he uses Fallen Wish as an example, which is hilarious. Considering how Fallen Wish is one of the most pathetic people in the Brony fandom. I remember I was watching Night Tie-Dye's commentary, Edgelord commentary round 2, Lily. I tweeted something along the lines of, while watching that commentary, get off your high horse, mine is better, the Fallen Wish 16 story, which was a fairly mild tweet. It was me saying, you're a hypocrite. And then, apparently, I find out about 2 weeks later that via Night Tie-Dye, that Fallen Wish told an entire Skype room of her friends how big and bad Ephrom is for calling her a hypocrite out of nowhere, because I guess I'm supposed to give a 30-day notice before I tweet at somebody. I wasn't aware that was put into law, but apparently it was. I mentioned we're only 3 points in. Okay, here's one. FNGR uses the fact he's friends with Josh as an argument and claims he's still talking to Josh. And I know that's wrong. Let me tell you what actually happened. And you can go through FNGR's own videos. If you remember, I believe it was his response to Cult of Personality that was pre-How Not to Brony. He calls Lily Pete Josh's sleazy hitman. So clearly he had a negative opinion on Josh. And even then, I think it was How Not to Brony 17 or 18. He called out responsibly Pete for being garbage. So again, clearly he has some sort of negative opinion on Josh. Then about How Not to Brony 29B, he's like, me and Josh are friends now. And now all of a sudden that means I'm still talking to Josh, even though if I add up the time, you've probably been talking to Josh for a shorter time than Lily Pete ever did. You know, just, wow. That is blatant. Don't look back through what I actually said, because it will prove me wrong. Because it will prove what I said is lying. Okay, let's go through some more. Oh, here's one. He used sad music throughout the background of the whole video. Was like, this music is so sad. He used this kind of soft, instrumental, but still obviously meant to make you feel sad type of music, like, and you know why he did that. It was so you'd be like, oh God, this is serious. This for no good reason guy is right, and it just annoyed me the entire time. FNGR uses KP being a bad person as an excuse to believe anything said about her. Again, he doesn't really show any proof KP's a bad person. But here's the thing, FNGR. Just because someone's a bad person doesn't mean accusations against them can't be wrong. You know, if I were to claim someone like John Wilkes Booth is a rapist, that'd be wrong. And it doesn't matter if someone says that's wrong, you can't just go, well, John Wilkes Booth still shot Lincoln. Are you defending John Wilkes Booth? Do we have a Confederate over here? No. And if I ever did do that, I'd look stupid. Okay, here's another one. FNGR goes through people on his podcast using people like Dylan Thomas as examples. And by the way, if being on good terms with someone counts as an argument, I'd say I'm on decent terms with Dylan right now. I've been on his last 4 live shows in the chat. He seems to be at least mildly entertained by me. Everyone there seems to be at least mildly entertained by me. You know? And the only reason I didn't see all 4 of the last streams, because I was only there for about 15 minutes, and I believe DHT 20, because I was watching Clapdraw through most of it, and didn't even realize the stream was going on. Let's see what else. Oh, here's one he does a lot. He repeats previous points to pad out the video. This video is 43 minutes long. And most of it is just spent going, KP mean, Lily Pete mean, these people were mean to me in a comment that's It was about the 20-minute mark when I wrote this. And I was just thinking, oh God, will this man ever have a point? He gets the earned that respect hashtag wrong. He calls it hashtag earned the respect, not earned that respect. I was nitpicking there. Here's another one. FNGR says KP would have gotten away with it if she didn't say anything. This one didn't make any sense to me, because the whole reason the KP thing started to begin with was supposedly because the editors were having issues, and it turned out the editors never talked to KP about it. So I have to ask, how it's trying to make it up for that a bad thing? How is it a bad thing to say, hey guys, am I doing something wrong? I'm sorry if I did something wrong. And then they're like, oh, well, here are the problems we've been having. Now, granted, the editor should have said that to begin with. Here's another one. FNGR claims that Lily worships popularity. If so, she's doing a horrible job at it, considering how she has some of the most contrarian opinions in the Brony fandom. Like, even as a fan of Lily Pete, I'll admit she is fairly, I'm going to say, contrarian in the Brony fandom. Like, I've seen a few people who maybe are a little more, but they're just plain out all the hipsters, so who really cares? Okay. FNGR talks about how you should speak out and how drama is necessary. Now, this is something I very much agree on. In fact, FNGR, it's the reason I made this video. Okay. FNGR says Josh took the 8chan logo out of the thumbnail for response of Lily Pete when Lily mentions the even 8chan was helping me thing. That doesn't mean Josh still didn't say, even 8chan was helping me. Which, by the way, was a stupid point. Well, you're basically saying, oh, well, he hit it a little better. He still said it. He hides them as well as you hide your contradictions, FNGR. That being not at all. FNGR calls KP a fad and says there is nothing to come back to. I'm not sure if he's right on this. I really haven't watched much of KP's content. But that doesn't disprove anything Lily said. Oh, here is my personal favorite. Lily Pete mentions Breitbart. FNGR tries to make Breitbart look reasonable to make Lily Pete look bad, while showing climate change denying, which is actually dangerous. And ignoring Trump's relationship with Breitbart. You want to know why Breitbart is a big deal right now? Because Breitbart held a very big part in the rise of the alt-right, held a very big part in Trump getting elected, and you have people who are cozy with Trump who are on Breitbart. Remember how for a long time Steve Bannon, who was one of the big wigs at Breitbart, was like, oh, I'm on Trump's cabinet, oh yes, yes, you remember that for no good reason? FNGR mentions Stockholm out of nowhere. No comment. FNGR plays a clip of Lily praising Anthony C., which contradicts a point he made earlier in the video. Remember, earlier in the video, it was like, oh, Lily P. wanted people to forget about Anthony C. Now what is FNGR like? Oh, by the way, here's a clip of Lily P. praising Anthony C. I'm not going to mention it. It's been about 40 minutes. I'm going to hope you forget it. I didn't forget FNGR. Okay. Here are some things that FNGR did not address. FNGR never addressed Lily saying if what was said about KP was right, if she wouldn't have a staff. He never addressed the fact that Lily Pete mentioned that if the accusations against KP were right, KP wouldn't have a staff, considering how it's all volunteer work. And speaking of it being volunteer work, FNGR never mentions how slave labor accusations were actively wrong. Again, it was all volunteer work. It wasn't slave labor. It wasn't a job. They had no reason to stay if they were unhappy. There were so many holes in this story. It wasn't even worth taking seriously, honestly. Now, do I think it was right for Lizzie to flag the video? No. I genuinely don't, and here's why. Because when people are as gullible as believing something like this, something that comes down to, it's on the same level as get your government hands off my Medicare. Or Obama's Muslim from Kenya, from Mars. It's on that level of just pure delusion. I honestly feel that we should just, let him speak so everyone knows he's delusional. And everyone could be like, okay, this man is clearly delusional, let's not listen to anything he says. Now, by flagging it, you've made it look like, well, who is this guy? Oh, number 38's missing. That was probably a normal one. Let's look at this one. Oh, this man might not be completely delusional. No, I'd leave it up, and I'd advertise it, because it's a perfect example of how delusional FNGR is. This is the worst How Not to Brony video I've ever seen. Even when he's talking about Lily Pete, he can usually make some valid points, but this one was just pure, oh, Lily Pete bad because she said something nice about someone I don't like, and that really made me angry, like, oh my god. But I do have one question for FNGR. This is my big question. Have I defeated Mighty 4chan Man? I'm Ephrom, and good night.